Right, hello and welcome back for another session of our stretch and relax. I'm Britta, and today is a special practice because it is the solstice. It's the winter solstice. It's that time of the year, literally when everything comes to a standstill. We embrace this moment of pause before the sun starts to come back up and the sun starts to increase and the light increases and energy increases. I think it's a really beautiful opportunity to not do a lot. There's always going to be a sense of urgency and movement throughout your day and life. And I wanted to offer a practice that really allows you to hone in on the rest, the reverence for that moment of pause between activities, between breaths, between seasons. It's a potential for you to really integrate, some of your experiences on the physical or emotional realm, and a chance to just feel deeply renewed from a very chill practice. So we're gonna embrace the void, the emptiness, the darkness of winter and night before we start to really flush and fill with more stuff. So I'm gonna work us through some movements that really open up the chest, the front body. This is the place where we tend to get the most contracted, and we want to be in that space where it's safe and vulnerable and quiet. And also we want to keep the energy moving now that we're going to come into the light. So you'll see we'll start with some standing poses. We're going to focus a lot on joints, on the feet especially. We're still in the depth of winter, so feet and kidneys are where we get nourishment. It's where we get our energy and vitality. We're going to focus on that kind of watery aspect of the practice today. And we'll do a little balancing work. And then we're going to do a really extended, 5 to 10 minute, maybe even 15-minute shavasana or rest, so that you have a chance to focus in on the breath and to be still and quiet as we experience the dark. So join me. We're going to start in standing position. When you come up to your standing position, go ahead and take your feet just slightly wider than your hips. I'm going to open this up just a little bit more for us. Okay, so feet standing wider than your hips. Go ahead and spread the toes really well and take a moment to rock forward and rock back and rock left and rock right. Even stand up one leg at a time. I want you to feel like you can anchor. When you come to stillness, soften the knees, soften the belly, lengthen the low back, and come into this, what we call in the Qigong practice, like a wuji stance, a very grounded, open, and relaxed stance. I want you to just close your eyes. Take 3 breaths, in through the nose and out through the nose. Don't worry about controlling the breath, just allow it come in and out. However you are arriving in this space, the breath will show you where you are. Now this last one, I want you to slow it down a little bit. Breathe in for 3, 2, 1. Breathe out for 3, 2, 1. Okay. We're going to let the hands find their way up to the hip bones, so you can find the front of your hip creases. And just relax the arms and shoulders. We're going to start by making hip circles. This is a really nice way to start the practice. So tilt your hips over to one side, draw them forward, shift to the other side, and draw them back. Your torso, your sternum, should kind of make like a infinity loop with your pelvis. So it's almost like you're doing 2 directions at once. You're just moving the hips in a big circle. And from the side, you can see really how far forward and how far backward I'm letting my hips go. Keeping the knees soft so you're not straining. We're just going to bring some attention, bring some sensation into the hips. Go ahead and reverse the direction. And now you can let your hands come from your hip bones, hang them down. Let everything get really, really relaxed, almost like zombie-like. For me, I'm starting to feel this more in my upper back. So as I'm pushing the hips, I'm also starting to round the spine. So you can play with that action of shifting the hip back, arching the back. As your hips come forward, you kind of roll up and round up. Okay, maybe one or two more. Not too technical, just starting out. Okay. Come back to that nice Wuji stance, soft knees. We're going to practice one that opens up the side of your shoulders and your upper back and upper chest. So I want you to bring your right hand, palm facing down, bring the elbow up, almost like someone's lifting it for you. Bring it all the way up like you're looking at a watch. And you're going to let the elbow reach back. So you turn back behind you and reach that arm way back. Hand comes down. As that hand comes down, your other elbow should be in front of your body now. You're going to reach that one up. Look at your wristwatch. Reach back, twist, extend the arm. Now the other elbow starts to rise up. And these are just slow in the beginning, so you can pair your breath with that full range of motion, twisting, reaching up and back. As you're doing this, continue to focus on pushing the ground away. So we're staying stable and steady in the feet, in the legs, energizing the legs. We're trying to get a little rotation now in the thoracic spine, in the low back. It almost feels like you're a little micro tornado. I want you to slow it down now even more. I'm going to keep going for another minute or two. Slow it down. If you can move like you're in slow motion or like you're moving underwater where everything feels supported. The breath comes in and out just smoothly, casually. Oftentimes in winter, there's all sorts of weather, right? There's snowstorms, there's wind, there's cold, there's icy, icy cold. This is your chance to kind of be like a tree. Be stable, but flexible. Enjoy some of that movement, but not be depleted by it or kind of thrown off kilter. Let's do 2 more cycles with your own pace. Next time that you come forward, let that top arm just find its way back down towards your hips. Take another slow, deep inhale. Relax the exhale. And then take a little bounce. So you're bouncing the knees. Maybe you're even lifting up onto the tiptoes, lifting the heels. Just send a little bit of that energy down. You're going to practice some stillness so we can get really connected to the solstice, to that perfect balanced energy, that moment of transition. So for this, I'd like you to bend your knees a little bit more than you might even think. Just soften the knees forward. Bring the tailbone and just lengthen it towards the ground. So you should feel automatically just a little bit more stability through your core, through your abdomen. Chest stays broad. Arms stay down by your side, but leave a little space at the elbows. So it's not like you're lifting them up, closing off the lungs. You're just like buoyant, floating. We're going to stay here for 5 full cycles of breath. You can relax the throat, the jaw, the belly, the feet. Focus on breathing steadily and evenly. At the end of our practice, we'll be doing a seated breath work, a balancing breath. This is a chance to kind of tap into that practice in the beginning, where you still have a lot of energy streaming through the body. Breathing in and up. Pausing at the top of the breath, letting it roll out and down. Let's do 2 more. Breathe in here, really allow yourself to get full, and then allow that breath to just drop out. Straighten your legs. Okay. The next little cycle of warm up I like to move us through is for the kidneys. So we're really going to be nourishing this area where we're arching the back and rounding the back. So I want you to practice that here. You can stand, I'm showing you at the side. Arching doesn't mean sinking down. It means lifting up. So if you can see on my back, I'm lifting up and then I'm leaning back. I'm not dumping back, letting my hips come forward. Think about a tall line of energy. When we hollow or round, the ribs go back first, and then the upper back gets hollow. So I don't want you to come and crouch down. I really want you to practice staying stable and strong through the hips. Most of this movement happens at the upper back. We inhale, we arch. You can think about the shoulder blades coming together. And we exhale, the ribs go back and slightly down. The shoulder blades come forward. Okay, you got the idea. So now we're going to take that into another movement. Same feet hip width apart. Spread the toes, soften the feet. And then I want you to take your arms, reach them forward and up with your breath. As your arms come overhead, you find that nice lift and length to the arch. And then as you exhale, start to round and hollow the spine, bend the elbows wide, bring the arms down in front of you. Almost like you're flushing that breath down, pressurizing through the body, bringing it all the way down. Once you get to your hips, take that energy, that breath, and push it into your kidneys. You can touch your hands physically there. Then we're going to go hips back, slide the hands down the back of the thighs, buttocks, hamstrings, kind of grounding all that energy back into the earth. I want you to take hold of the front of your toes, lift them up if you can, give yourself a little length through the back, and then forward fold. When we come up, inhale the arms by your ears, lift your spine, nice and straight line, push into the ground to come all the way to standing. We'll keep going. Inhale again, arch the back. Exhale, hollow, and bring that breath and energy down in front of the body. Like a wash, a heavy wave of water. Bring it to the kidneys, take another breath. Fill up the hands, exhale, hips go back. Slide hands down the legs, nourish your bones, nourish your organs, nourish all that deep human tissue. Come to the feet, take a breath in, lift the toes, lift the chest. Exhale, round and fold. Inhale, arms by your ears, push the ground away to rise up. Keep breathing in. One last round. Big arch. Exhale, hollow and scan or wave the water through your body. Bring it into the kidneys. Take a breath of nourishment. Exhale, soften, deep bend, fold, slide. You're just sending that chi, that prana, that energy, that vitality down into the ground. Like winter, you're composting it. Last breath. Lift the toes. This is the part of the meridian system that connects deeply with the kidneys. We're giving a little stimulus. Exhale, fold, relax. Inhale, arms by the ears. Rise up to stand, nice tall spine. Exhale, bend the elbows. push that wave of water and nourishment down, and we'll pack it into the kidneys and pause there. There's no rush here. Take another full breath for yourself. See if you can move your breath into the low back, pushing that expansion into the ribs, out into the lower part of your spine. And then relax the hands. Give them a little shake and a little wiggle. Okay. So we'll keep moving. We're going to get a little slower in each sequence. Now we're going to move through a variation of sun salutation, because we really are not only acknowledging the dark and the winter and this kind of like closure of the sun system, but now we're at the same moment, that transitional moment. We want to honor and welcome the sun. We want to rejoice it. So we're going to activate a little bit to stay in that mellow zone for sun salutations. You can bring your feet together. I'm going to move this camera just a little bit so it's a little higher view. Okay. But for sun salutations, I'd like you to keep your feet now together. Bring the heels together so they're touching, toes are apart. Feel the energy of your legs squeezing together, lifting up. Find tall. Bring your hands up right in front of your chest. Palms can face up. This is really a nice gesture for opening the lungs, creating a little bit of opportunity for movement at the top of your spine. I'll guide you with the breath. You can take an inhale, reach the arms forward and then overhead. So the top of your breath, your arms are right in line with your ears. Take that subtle arch that we just practiced. And then as you exhale, send your hips back, reach your arms forward, take it slow. Fold forward. Grace the ground with your fingers. Inhale, lift up just the chest. Exhale, release the head, the neck, the shoulders down. Inhale, step your right foot back. Take a low lunge, back knee to the ground. And take another breath. Inhale the arms forward, up. Create buoyancy by pushing the floor away and reaching through your arms. Exhale, hands glide forward and down. Inhale, lift the back knee. As you exhale, step your back feet together. Push your shoulders back. A downward dog that's gentle. Bend the knees. Shift the hips up and back. Take a breath. The exhale brings you forward to your hands and to your knees. And then we're also going to exhale all the way down to the belly. You bring the hips forward, bend the elbows, untuck the toes. Big breath in draws your shoulders up and back. Exhale, shift back onto your knees, tuck your toes. Inhale to downward dog. Full exhale. Now as you breathe in, look forward, step your right foot through. As you breathe out, step your left foot through. Heels touch. Forward fold. Inhale, arms by the ears, rise up. Powerful spine, you're saluting the sun. It's gonna come back. Exhale, bring the hands down and face the palms up. Just kind of like a receptive pose. Staying open at the chest. We'll go through that 2 more times. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, reach forward and fold. Heels stay connected. Inhale, just lift the spine up, look forward. Exhale, release the chest, chin, and neck. Inhale, left leg back, knee to the mat. Reach the arms up, take another breath. Slow and steady. Exhale, hands come forward to the mat or the ground. Inhale, lift the back knee. Exhale, feet together at the back, downward dog. Inhale, come forward to your knees. Exhale, lower slow. You can keep the chest lifted. It's a very gentle version of a chaturanga. Breathe in, push yourself up and back. Breathe out, downward dog. Inhale, left foot forward. Exhale, right foot forward. Heels touch. Arms by your ears, rise up. Root down. Feel the expansion of the breath. And then bring it back down, exhaling, hands and in front of the chest, palms up. Let's go through one more, even slower if you can. Mirror your own breath. Inhalation lifts you. Exhalation folds you. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Right leg back, low lunge. Breathe in and up. Smile maybe because you're excited by the sun, excited by the winter season. Exhale to downward facing. Breath in, forward, tabletop. Breath out, forward, cobra. Inhale from breath. Feel the back stretch and strengthen. Exhale, push, tabletop to downward dog. Inhale, let's go left foot forward. Right foot forward, exhale, fold, heels touch. Breathe your body back upright. Exhale, glide the hands down. This time you can center the palms right in front of your chest. Close the eyes if they're not already and just notice. How do you feel in that space? Where do you feel? What do you feel? Can you notice any asymmetry in your body or your breath? It's probably there. It's never quite perfect. But our goal is to bring things more into alignment, more into that equal state. So I'll join you back in standing. You can open the eyes, shake your body out. Feet, fingers, bounce the knees, anything you need to do to kind of reset. Now we're going to go into a little bit more of a standing pose. So we're going to hold this standing pose in stillness. Then we'll bring a little bit more movement back in. So these are kind of waves, right? Ebbing and flowing, tapping into the wateriness of winter before we harness that power of the sun. So I'd like you to come into your left standing leg. And when you get there, keep a soft bend into your knee, about like, I don't know the degrees, just make it soft. Take your other leg back behind you and flex the knee. So you could potentially reach back for your foot or even reach for your shin and then slide to your foot. Really stretch the front of the quadricep. Keeping that front knee soft will make sure that you're not locked out and closing off the energy. We want to keep everything open. This is gentle. You can think about pulling your knee of the bent leg back, staying tall in the body, and getting the front of your chest to open by expanding, by squeezing the shoulders back, lifting the sternum up. Now let's see if we can just find stillness here. If you need a balance, you can look with your hand forward. You could bring your hand forward and still look forward, or you could even look around and test your balance. The goal is really to find a place that feels easy, steady, peaceful. Another full breath. In, pause, out, pause. When we transition, I'd like you to see if you can release the foot from your hand, but don't let it fall to the ground. Keep it active. Draw that knee forward. Bring your hands to your front shin and give a little stretch upwards. So you're really pushing down into your standing leg to get a stretch in your hip. Again, staying as still, focused forward as you can. One more transition, slowly. See if you can flex the top foot. See if you can release the hands, keep the knee up. And then take that knee out to the side. Place the foot inside your other leg against your calf. And see if you can find tree pose. It's one of my favorite poses for the winter because the trees are so magical in the winter. You get to see their skeletons. You get to see their structure, their strength, their sturdiness through the wind, through the snow. They remain. And yet there is movement. They're not rocks. They're not bricks. Try to find that balance of subtle adjustments, subtle flexibility, and steadiness. Another full breath in. Breathing in, pause, breathing out, pause. Relax the hands if they're up. Bring the outside leg out. Recommit over your center line and shake that standing leg out. Get all that energy that you just brought in and move it around. Shake, shake, shake. We'll try the same practice on the other side. So I think we started on the left. You can go to your right, whichever one you want to do. Do both sides. Little bend in the leg. Look tall. Find a focal point. Let that be your steadiness, right? The sun is as far south as it is. Like, let that be your focus point. See if you can bring the other leg back, bend the knee, reach back for your shin, your foot, wherever you can make a connection point. Draw the knee back, so we're pushing the hip into slight extension. Lengthen the body, broaden the collarbones, lift the heart. Find your deep, slow breath, just like a wave. Fills in, it pauses, it empties out, it pauses. Keep breathing, keep adjusting, and remain here in reverence to the balance of winter, the balance of life, the seasonal change. This is that moment of balance. And release the hand. Keep the legs soft. Move it slowly. Bend the knee up towards your chest. Hold the front shin bone. Big stretch. That stretch you should feel anywhere from the back of your leg. Maybe you feel it in your hamstrings, your low back. And go ahead and flex your front foot so the toes come up. Take the arms out wide and swivel that knee open for tree pose. So we're hanging out here. Place the foot against the inner calf. You don't need to go into extremes. You don't need to get all the way up here. Just find some place that's easy, steady. You can take the arms out wide again. Maybe you make a different position with your wrists, something that's creative, something that's like reverent. And take 3 more breaths. Again, that breath is just rising, turning, falling, turning. Upon your exhale, widen the outside leg. Bring yourself over your center and then shake out the other leg. So you kind of always feel like you're coming into a state of stability, of balance. Go ahead and shake out a lot. Just wiggle wrists, bounce the knees, bounce the heels. Cool. For now, we're going to come back onto hands and onto knees. We're about halfway through our session. We're going to go through another low lunge, something that's going to kind of nourish the kidney, get a little bit more rotation through the spine, add some movement, and then get a little bit more stable, okay? So come from your quadruped position, your cat and cow, or your tabletop. We're going to shift over to the left side so you can bring your right foot forward. And I want you to try to get as lined up with your knee over the center of your foot as it feels comfortable. Let's untuck the back toes. And I want you to find a little bit of space so your front foot can either go slightly forward or your back knee can go forward. So you have some room to shift forward and back. Plant the bottom hand on the ground. Lift the top hand to your heart. Already now we're getting a lot of this wrapping motion. So we're going to take some of that energy from the ground, like we're pulling energy from the core of the earth itself. And then we're going to send it up to the sky. Then we're going to make a huge circle. Nourishing the shoulders, the ribs. These can be really slow circles, following the pattern of your breath. Each time that you inhale, you might be at that peak pose or moment. So a little pause before you wrap back around. Same thing at the bottom. There's a slight pause before you begin that rise. Let's do one more. Go ahead and bring both of your hands to the inside of your front foot and shift your hips back. We've done this a lot in this sequence or in this series. Leg straightens, toes lift, getting a sensation through the calf and hamstring. Also lifting the torso, getting long through the spine. We'll inhale to bend. Exhale to extend. One more. Shift your hands, come back to your table or your kind of cat and cow. Now we'll go through that slow arching and hollowing here. Still with the toes untucked, mostly so we're getting a little bit more exposure to the bottom of the feet. We're going to stimulate those as well later. But I want you to keep the tops of the feet really connected to the earth. Again, that's that front line, which is yin, which is quiet, which is roots. Dark, earth, stable, steady. You know what I mean? Breathe in. Arch your upper back. Look forward. Arch your tailbone. Keep looking forward. Keep looking up. Keep breathing in. Slow. Exhale. Sink. Round. Tuck. Push. Curl. Inhale. Lengthen. Lift, arch, pull, reach, gaze up, exhale, sink, tuck, curl, push, go in. Last one. Arms stay straight, just focusing on the movement at ribs, hips, chest, neck. Last round, curl it in, push the ground away, get round as you can. Come back to neutral. Gaze down between your hands so your chin is kind of facing the ground. I'd like you to shift your body weight just slightly without moving your position. Shift your body weight into your left leg. And then shift your body weight out of your left hand. If you can bring your left hand forward, your right foot back. We're going to lift them up just softly, not big arch, trying to stay long. And we're going to hold here for 5 breaths. Notice every part of your body that is on the ground. See if you can find that stability. Make it more quiet, less movement, less squeezing, and more resting. The other parts that are lifted, your fingers and toes, your head, your belly, fire those up. Squeeze them tight. Reach out. 2 more breaths. Exhale. Hands and knees come back to the ground. Shift back to center. And then shift your heels back. We'll give the wrists just a moment to pause. You can flip the hands upside down. A little stretch for the forearms, back of the wrists. What I love about these poses is it forces us to check in with how much effort we're exerting and really how much is required. We can do some of the bare minimum. That's what we need to do in winter right now. Just the bare minimum. Just take care of yourself. Rest, recover, rebuild. Let's try it on the second side. So now we're shifting the weight slightly into the right knee, pushing a lot through the left hand, and then taking the weight out of the right hand and the left leg. Reach those 2 points apart. Lift them up just so slightly so they're in a nice long line. 5 full breaths. Everything that's on the ground is stable and steady. Everything that's off of the ground is active. Not dynamic, but reaching, squeezing, active. Breathe. Same full, steady breath. Slow pause at the top and the bottom. And you rest in the middle of these poses. That's the true test of winter. 2 more. Exhale. Hands and knees back to the ground. This time tuck your toes. Shift your weight back over your heels. Walk yourself up. We're going to lean back slightly so you get a nice counter stretch to the toes and also a little space at the hips. It's a lot. The toes are screaming. I know. I'm right there with you. Okay. Go ahead, make your way down onto the ground. You can shift onto your buttocks. We are going to finish out this session today with a lot of good vibrations, good vibes. So we're going to start with the ankles and the feet. And again, in Chinese medicine, which I am a big fan of, the feet, the soles of the feet especially, correlate deeply with the kidneys, with that deep winter energy. It's really your body battery. So we're going to do a little supercharge, right? Practice being still. I'm going to take a moment right at the end of class to really hone in on that stillness. Before that, we get a little vibration, a little test or taste of what's to come. So go ahead and extend one leg out in front of you. I'll do it from the side. Bend the other foot and knee. You can do this with or without socks. It's totally fine. I'm really cold, so I'm keeping my feet protected. Take a hand to the bottom of your ankle. And with your other hand, you can hold your foot, or if you have bare feet, you can interlace your hands in between your fingers and toes. Feels really nice. We're just going to move the foot in a big circle. So I'm just supporting the base of the ankle and making huge circles. Keeping those joints healthy by creating a little bit more movement of the fluids, the synovial fluid, the blood, the lymph, even the movement of those ligaments and muscles will help reduce, the stagnancy. Okay, now we're going to tap the foot. So I want you to take a big palm, slap it right on the bottom. We're going to go 20 times. 1, 2, 3. And then hold it. Kind of feel that vibration. Let it integrate. Give it a little rub. These are your batteries. These are your kind of like your plug. You want to make sure it's activated. Let's place that foot on the ground. We're going to do the same similar thing to the outside of the shin. So you can take either fists or open palms. I want you to first start by rubbing up and down, whole shin. Stimulating a lot of these points that are our deep organs that sustain us. And then we're going to do the same thing. Tap. You can do tap with open palms, up and down from the ankle to the knee. Go down to the foot and tuck it in. Send it out. All right, switch sides. Other leg straight, bend the other knee, cross the ankle over your thigh. Take hold of your bottom ankle and then take hold of the foot. Let's make circles. Brita, why do we do all these weird poses? Like, why isn't this a regular yoga class? Well, guess what it is? There's a lot of types of yoga. There's a lot of different practices from all over the world, especially around, stuff that correlates with stars and the lunar calendar. So I wanted to offer a class that's kind of, sentimental in that way, and also really effective for nourishing you and helping you close the chapter to a season and potentially open up your eyes, your bones, your tissues, your body to new potential. All right, so now we've circled, let's tap, slap the foot. Hold it in, let it get supercharged. And let's place that foot, reconnect it to the ground. We'll go for percussion and rubbing on the shins. So you can make fists, you can interlace, whatever feels the most natural to you. A lot of times just this vibration helps kind of reset the body, resets the lymphatic. It gives your nerves something to think about and process new information. So even just new input can be really helpful. Vibration, hitting the bones, it actually creates the opportunity for blood to flow. We want blood to flow in and out of those bones and tissues. We want those constantly be getting that nourishment. So you feel strong, you feel capable. That's the whole point. All right, send that out. Straighten both of your legs. We're going to get a little bit more into our quiet state, these last couple of poses. We're going to do a nice forward fold with a wide legs. I'd like you to do this in a way that feels as little effort as possible. So not going for pointed toes gymnastics as far as you can get forward. I want you to even keep your knees bent if you need to. Grab a pillow if you need to, so you have something to support your body. It doesn't feel like a strain, but we're going to allow the body to be in this shape and this structure for a minute or so. So come on down. You can have your hands in front of you. You can let your toes relax, let your chest come forward. You might find that over the course of several breaths, you can get a little further. If your body's giving you consent to do so, take it there and relax. Wherever your hands are, whether they're straight, palms flat, or your elbows are on the ground, I want you to relax your head. Let it hang down and focus on returning to that even, full breath practice. Breathing in all the way into your low back, upper back, outer ribs. Pause at the top and exhale. Compress that breath out all the way till you're empty. Hold at the bottom. Just a gentle hold. Inhale, fill. Pause. Exhale, empty. Pause. You might notice that you're shifting a little bit more. That's okay. We're going to stay here for another a minute or so. I like to get really lazy. I put my elbows on the ground and I hold my head so that I can feel completely, totally relaxed. We're not trying to overexert right now, just trying to allow time, gravity, and breath to invite us into the depths of these shapes, which can reveal certain things. Physical things, emotions, thoughts. These are times to reflect on your day or your week or your year or who you are as a person or who you want to be. Or, I don't know, what excites you, what scares you. You never know what will bubble up in these moments. If you're quiet enough, magic can unveil itself. All right, we'll walk our hands back up. You come up, it's important to go slow. Really check in. Landscape of your body might have changed. Let's take the hands behind your knees, lean slightly back, and pull your legs into a bent position. So you're not efforting. And then from here, just simply turn your knees to the side. We're going to go through a little side stretch or side bend. So I like to get my feet where they're parallel and my knees to be mostly stacked. Maybe one will come slightly in front, but I'm going to ask that you hold your outside hand on the front of your shins so you can sit upright without this hand on the ground. You're going to take a breath in, bring that hand up and hold your neck. I want you to try to keep your elbow in line with your head. So it's not going to come forward or wing out, kind of like right in line. And then just take a breath out. Bring your body over towards your feet. So again, tendency is that elbow comes forward of the head. I want you to see if you can make that nice arc between your outer hip and the elbow. This is going to be tight for a lot of us. This is a great way to just clear out the gunk in literally your gallbladder, which can get congested nowadays. It just feels so good to get a little space into the side body, process some things, get some energy. Come up slow. Like that was a deep bend for me, so I want to make sure I'm just coming up with attention. I'm going to place the hand that was bent, place it on the ground. And then we're going to go into a little side bend. So you can push your body weight down into that arm, push the shoulder away from your ear, and then lift your hips up. Push the hips forward. Just get a little counter stretch, a little activity for that area that we just stretched. When you exhale, sit the hips back down. Bring your hands behind you. Roll all the way over to the other side. See if you can do it. Stack the feet and the knees. Now this hand holds the ankles. Sit up nice and tall. And bring the arm up taking hold of back of your neck or just the outside of your head. Take that little side bend. Each time you inhale, you can come up just a little bit, refilling the breath. Take the pause and then exhale, go a little deeper. Pause at the end. Inhale, stretch it up. Last breath. Bring that top hand down. Release the other hand. Shift your body weight over, push the shoulder away, lift your hips, and then send them forward. So you're kind of coming from that hinged position to a extended line. Just a nice counter stretch. Sit the hips back down. This last time, we're going to bring the feet behind you. So you're going to come into a kneeling position, hero's pose. We'll finish this class tonight with that equanimous breath. It's called Nadi Shodhana. This is a chance to really create a sense of ease, a sense of rest in the body. You can put yourself in any other position if this isn't ideally comfortable. Perhaps a pillow behind your ankles can be really effective to give a little space if your knees or your ankles are tight. Shake it all out. I'd like you to just rest your left hand in your lap. We're going to use the right hand. So the middle 3 fingers, so 1, 2, and 3, those are going to stay together. I want them to touch all the way, and I want them to bend. So think vertical and connected. The other 2, you're going to alternate. So your thumb will touch your right nostril, and your pinky will touch your left nostril. So what we're going to do is take a full breath in. We're going to push the thumb into the right nostril and exhale through the left nostril, slow. Inhale through that same side. At the top, switch. Push your pinky into your left nostril, exhale through your right nostril. Inhale through the same side. Taking my hand away just to show you, exhale through the left. So thumb is depressed. Inhale through the left. Exhale through the right. When you're practicing this at home, you can keep your hand right in front of your face. You don't have to turn it to the side. Inhale through the right. Pause at the top. Exhale through the left. Pause at the bottom. Inhale through the left. Pause at the top. Exhale through the right. Keep going at your own pace. Make it as slow, steady, and easy as possible. Inhaling through the same side. Exhaling through the opposite side. We'll go for one more round. Inhale again. We're going to end on the left side. So keep going until you have an inhale and you're about to exhale through the left side. When you finish exhaling through the left nostril, relax your hands into your lap. Keep your eyes closed if they're not already. Keep breathing just through your nose. And again, notice how you feel. Is there a sense of ease? Is your heart racing at all? Do you need to slow that breath down just a little bit more? My invitation to you on this solstice practice is that you would take time after this to just contemplate what are the things that you've seen, accomplished, enjoyed this solar year. What are some things that you might want to leave at the threshold of this moment, this transitional moment to the new year, the new sun cycle? When you're in this little bit more state of equanimity, it's easier to feel into those things, to see clarity of what you want to bring with you, what you want to leave behind. You're welcome to pause the video. You're welcome to come back to this moment another time. I really invite you to go through that practice, just mentally check in with yourself and allow that information or that experience that you have to integrate through this moment of stillness, quiet. For tonight, we'll call that the end. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to dedicate to your own practice of mind and body and spirit. Again, it's my pleasure to be here. I'm Britta. I would love to practice with you again. So feel free to check out other videos, leave a comment, get in touch. Hopefully we'll be able to be in person again together soon.